welcome to the National Indoor Arena here in Birmingham for quarter-finals day at the Yonex All England Badminton Championships, an event that's widely regarded as the world's premier annual tournament. 5 matches for you this afternoon, and we're going to start with men's doubles in a battle of the former world champions CAI and Haifeng up against Lars PAASKE and Jonas Rasmussen in a repeat of the 2005 final. Women's doubles will follow that, and surprise finalist Warwick and White of England, who disposed of the European champions yesterday. Today, they're up against the Olympic champions Du Jing and Yu Yang. Men's singles after that, and the former champion Peter Gade up against the former world and Olympic champion Taufik Hidayat of Indonesia. Following that, mixed doubles, Koo and Ha of Korea up against the current European champions Anthony Clark and Donna Kellogg. Following that, women's singles and the new world number 1, the reigning champion Tina Rasmussen of Denmark up against the unseeded Yip Hui Yin of Hong Kong. So what a terrific lineup, and the first of the matches really should get us off to a flying start, because as I say, it's the battle of the former world champions. Number 7 seeds CAI and Haifeng of China against the number 2 seeds Lars PAASKE and Jonas Rasmussen of Denmark.
And now please welcome the competitors. From China, CAI and Haifeng. And their opponents from Denmark, Lars PAASKE and Jonas Rasmussen.
So this men's doubles, as I say, really should be an absolute thriller. We're looking at the 2003 world champions, Lars PAASKE and Jonas Rasmussen. They're up against the 2006 world champions, CAI and Haifeng. Well, I'm Jill Clark, and I'm absolutely delighted to say that sitting alongside me is 2-time winner of the All England Championships, Paul-Erik Hoyer-Larsson. And of course, let's not forget that Olympic title in Atlanta in 1996. Paul-Erik, I mean, men's doubles, I know that it wasn't your discipline, but this should be an absolute thriller.
Most definitely. I'm sure that you will see some spectacular rallies going on the courts. And of course, I hope for the Danes, but I must say the Chinese are really strong, and it will be a very close match.
So looking at the Chinese players, well, the left-hander is Haifeng. He's 25 years of age, and the taller of the two men at 1.83 m, that's about 6 foot. CAI, 29, born in Jiangsu province, 1.81 m, and of course, world ranking at the moment of 8, seeded 7 here at the All England Championships. And of course, let's not forget the fact that they won this title back in 2005. Beating their opponents of today, and that of course was under the old scoring system, and they won 15-10, 15-6. Been in the final a couple of years ago as well, so they've had a good record here at the All England Championships. But apart from that world title that I mentioned back in 2006, of course, last year in Beijing at the Olympic Games, they were silver medalists, missing out in the final to Marcus Kido and Hendra Setiawan of Indonesia. The Indonesians, incidentally, couldn't be here because of injury, so a bit of disappointment for the fans, the Indonesian fans here at the All England Championships. Jonas Rasmussen, 31 years of age, Lars PAASKE, 33. Lars PAASKE, the taller of the two men at 1.87 meters. Now they, as I say, have been in the All England final before. Last year, they were disappointing quarter-finalists, lost out to Ikeda and Sakamoto of Japan. But they are the reigning European champions. And, of course, the world champions in this very arena back in 2003. So they too, very, very good record here in Birmingham. Seeded 2, but current world ranking of 3. Both of these pairs have got through to today's quarterfinal, winning both of their previous matches in 2 straight games. As far as the Chinese pair are concerned, they beat Germans in the first round and Koreans in the second round. PAASKE and Rasmussen had a pair from the Netherlands in the first round, and then Shintaro Ikeda and Sakamoto, of course, the pair that beat them last year. And they, incidentally, the Japanese pair were, of course, bronze medalists at the last World Championships, so that was a great win in that round of last 16. And they were impressive, 21-11, 21-16 in just 31 minutes. So, of course, with that sort of form, and I know that the Danish pair were absolutely up for that. So, both pairs very, very experienced in international badminton. Very different styles, of course, which Paul Erik Koya Larsen and myself will discuss as the match gets underway. Very dynamic, exciting play from the Chinese pair. I can remember that World Championship final in Madrid. Blasted Anthony Clark and Robert Blair off court. They really were at a different pace, it has to be said. But I do feel with the Danes, they are great tacticians. May not be as agile and as physically fast on court as the Chinese pair, but my goodness me, they think about what they're doing. They place the shuttle so well, and probably nobody better than Lars PAASKE.
Thank you, players. Ready, please.
So the umpire calling the players to get ready, Dave Hinton. There's our umpire, his service judge, Dave Martin. Just seems as if there's a little bit of a discussion at the moment about the speed of the shuttles.
Ready, please. Carry on.
All the shuttles have been brought onto court. There is our service judge, David Martin. Nerve-wracking times, these last final moments before the start of the big match. Of course, 3 courts in action here at the National Indoor Arena here in Birmingham. But with the order of play, the way the tournament organisers schedule the matches, it means that we start with 1 centre court of action, and it really does make a spectacle of this wonderful event. Oldest annual event in badminton history. This, the 99th staging of the All England Championships, and the 26th consecutive year that the title sponsors have been Yonex. And incidentally, it was just announced yesterday, another 5-year deal with Yonex to support the All England.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Lars PAASKE Jonas Rasmussen, Denmark. On my left, CAI Haifeng, China. CAI to serve to Lars PAASKE. Love all. Play.
So the European champions, Lars PAASKE and Jonas Rasmussen, the number 2 seeds here at the All England Championship, nearest to us with the white shirts, up against the former champions, the number 7 seeds, CAI and Fu Haifeng. Fu Haifeng, of course, is the left-hander. Jonas Rasmussen, there he is, 31 years of age. Paul Eric, of course, you and I were chatting before this match actually got underway about the difference in styles between these two pairs and the fact that the Danes are very much thinkers, they're tacticians on court, whereas the Chinese tend, would it be fair to say that they rely on their speed and power?
That would be fair, definitely. I think that we see the Chinese really trying to be on top of every rally you see on court, and then the Danes maybe slowly will try to get into the match, rising towards the net and then controlling from the net. That would be very important for the Danes if they should have a chance winning this match against the Chinese.
And when you say go forward and control things from the front of the court, relying mainly on Lars PAASKE, because he is just sensational at the front of the court.
He is sensational. His way of moving his racket towards the shuttle in a very fast, short reaction, that is so deceptive and so difficult to see. So that is an advantage we have against the Chinese. But then again, there's also Jonas Rasmussen, his way of really thinking or taking the chances into the net, making the rush towards the net and actually trying to push the Chinese back on court. That would be the tactical movement the Danes has to do.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right, because when I think back to that World Championship final that, of course, the Danes won in this very arena back in 2003 against Sigit Budiato and Chandu Wijaya, it really was Rasmussen who was the man who created something a little bit that wasn't expected, as we're looking at Kenneth Jonassen, former player, of course, former world number 2, twice ranked, seeded number 2 at the World Championships, but sadly lost out in the quarterfinals both times, but now coaching as far as the Danes are concerned. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that I'm sure the Danes have got to be cautious of, because when they get into these flat, fast rallies, that's a problem to them. The Chinese are so quick.
The Chinese are really quick, and then bear in mind, we see Fu Haifeng, his way of his reaction towards the shuttle and then his action in the smash, maybe possibly the hardest smash in the world. He's so fast on court, that is almost unbelievable, I would say.
Yes, but it's not always power. They're showing the placement and angle just as important, and perhaps even more important. Wonderful angled smash. And just mentioning the speed of that smash, the Fu Haifeng, saying holds the record for the fastest smash ever in international competition, 332 kilometers per hour. That's 206 miles per hour. In Beijing in 2005 Sudirman Cup finals. Pretty impressive when you compare it to tennis.
That is incredible.
Service over. 4-7.
Opening game. Disappointment for Rasmussen, all too obvious.
Service over.
The patience in the game, that is very important for the Danes, and sometimes Jonas Rasmussen is not really having that patience in his game, and then he makes the mistakes, and unfortunately this time it was a mistake coming from Jonas Rasmussen.
It's a very comfortable lead in this opening game for the Chinese combination. Once again, it's the angled smash, and it's across court.
This is the third time actually, and Lars PAASKE has been having quite a good success with that smash. Surprisingly catching this time Kai Jun on the wrong side of his leg, and he was not able to actually reach out for that. And that is a good movement for Lars PAASKE. And I think that is very important, that every time the Danes has a chance to be offensive, try to make the angles. That is very important against the Chinese.
Angles and presumably mix up the pace and change it, perhaps of a softer shot, just guiding the shuttle into the open spaces. They'll be happy with that, and so is coach.
6-9.
I do think that probably Fu Haifeng is the weakness on defence. Already we've seen several times in these early stages. Look at that, 261 kilometres an hour. Crikey.
Good rally, and there you actually saw the Danes trying to rush towards the net. Jonas Rasmussen quite fast, and then he got caught. Luckily he had a great shot at the end, just passing. I think it was Kai Jun at that time, rushing towards the net, leaving the shuttle, and it was in.
Now they're looking a lot sharper now, almost as if they were too slow to get going.
It seems as if they were quite stiff to begin with, and all of a sudden they've found themselves, and now you see Jonas Rasmussen is taking his kind of game, and he wants to show that I'm there and he's ready, and he really has made some very good rushes towards the net. And now the serve, also one thing that he has improved a lot lately. His way of serving has been struggling early on, but the last 2 years, I think, actually, Jonas Rasmussen has been really improved on that side.
Yes, I can remember watching him a couple of years ago, and his serve, I mean, every time he served, he seemed to be so nervous, didn't seem to have any confidence, but as you say, it has improved. And when you think that 5 straight points now from 4-9 down to level it at 9-all, what a difference that's made. Perhaps the Fu Haifeng is a left-hander, lifted the shuttle. Glimpse there of Zhang Jun, twice Olympic mixed doubles champion, now coaching the men's doubles and of course the mixed doubles as well.
Service over, 10-all.
Oh dear.
Service over.
2 errors on serve.
10.
Last 2 serves, points gifted away, and it means that the Chinese pair have the narrowest of possible margins at the mid-game interval. Just 1 point in it. There are more winners from the Danes, and in fact 5 of the 7 coming from Lars PAASKE. I'm not altogether surprised about the Chinese pair. Fu Haifeng, he hits so many winners, especially with that big smash. 4 of the 5 winners for the Chinese coming from his racket.
On court number 3 now, we have men's doubles.
11-10.
From Indonesia, Mohamed Hassan and Bona Septama, and their opponents from Korea, Lee Young-dae and Shin-baek Choi. The umpire for this match is Paul Buffum, and his service judge is Malcolm.
Shuttle landing just wide.
Service over, 11 all.
Of course, this is the 9th meeting between these two pairs. The previous 8 occasions, the Danes won 5 of them, including the last time they met, which was last year at the Malaysian Open. In fact, the Danes won 3 of the last 4 meetings, so probably psychologically that's quite an advantage to them.
Most definitely, it should be a small advantage for the Danes. Though, if you see how difficult it is to get into the Chinese, they are so strong on the first and the second rally in each set. So very important for the Danes, the serve and then the next rally or the next shot after the serve. And that is what I would like to see now for the Danes. If they want to put an extra point in the game now, they have to be very strong.
Yeah, I was doing some coaching work last weekend with some youngsters in the Isle of Man, and I was telling them that the serve, the return of serve and the third shot, most important in doubles. So obviously, you just confirmed that fact. Sets up the whole tone of the rally. And this is the sort of interception that you were talking about early on. Honestly, when the Chinese get on the attack, it is very, very impressive.
It is possibly the strongest pair in the world right now in terms of having the offensive game. I most definitely think the Chinese Fu Haifeng, CAI Jun is the strongest in the world.
Total confusion in the Danish camp, both players leaving it for the other, and that really did cost them dear. But just picking up on that point of yours, Paul Eric, about the Chinese being probably the strongest pair in world badminton, the fact that they're ranked number 8 in the world at the moment, only seeded 7 here. Of course, they've taken time off since the Olympic Games. This is their first tournament together since the Olympic Games. Of course, they came to the Super Series events in the autumn, the Danish Open and the French Open, but they played with different partners. They haven't played the first 2 Super Series events of 2009. None of the Chinese players have. They've been in a really hard training camp, and therefore their world ranking has dropped.
That is true, Jill, but definitely they are a very strong pair, and now being back on the scene, I will mostly expect that they will increase and getting a higher rank within, let's say, the next couple of months.
16,
I'd agree with
13.
that.
Picked up the speed. CAI Jun was quite strong there.
There's the founder of Yonex company, Mr. Yamiyama. And of course, 26 consecutive years the Yonex company have supported the All England Championships. And they've just announced another 5-year deal. It really is remarkable. That would be a total of 81 years sponsoring one sporting event. I don't believe there can be many sporting events in any sport in the world that can boast that sort of a record. Oh, it's gone long. I sometimes think with Rasmussen, because he goes for something extraordinary, sometimes he plays his partnership into trouble because he's opening up the angles.
Exactly. That is the weak point of Jonas Rasmussen, because sometimes he takes the chances and he leaves in very open space, and without any chance of Lars PAASKE to reach that shuttle.
Oh, he tried the trick shot behind his back, got the shuttle back over the net, but didn't really
19-14.
achieve anything other than make his opponent play one more shot. Always spectacular for the crowd to watch, but rarely gains much advantage. So just 2 points away now from this opening game. Chinese combination.
Good shot from Lars PAASKE. Now, this is very important for the Danes. If they should try to come back, they should force themselves in towards the net, because they have lost the net game, as far as I can see right now. The Chinese is forcing their offensive game into this match right now.
Right idea, wrong execution. Just too loose with the block. Popping up an easy opportunity for Fu Haifeng to put that away. And it means that the Chinese pair now have 5 game points. Wonderful interception, really pointing the shuttle at the front of the court. Change of pace on the smash, much softer.
17.
Much more in this situation, which came out positive. Fu Haifeng was not really ready for that one. Almost just a drop shot.
This time, third time of asking. And Fu Haifeng and Cai Yun secure the opening game.
First game won by Cai Yun and Fu Haifeng, 21-17.
Really very impressive indeed. And I think that if the Danes are to come back, they have got to be a little more positive, take more initiative in that second game. Because the first game, 21-17. So, Olympic mixed double champion in Sydney and retained that title with Gao Ling in Athens. Yeah. Cai Yun just, I think, saying to his partner, sometimes when we're defending, we've got to watch and see if the Danes are following forward, and we've got to hold and flick over their heads. We'll see if they're doing that in the second game. So, Kenneth Jonassen, the reigning European men's singles champion, won the event in Herning last year, the very city where he was born. So the Chinese pair back on court first, and that's always a sign that they're full of confidence.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
Very early indeed, and I think that really is the sign of the confidence of Cai Yun and Fu Haifeng. Little discussion with their coach, the former Olympic champion, Zhang Jun, just quick tactical words, back onto court, eager to get on with this match. It's landed in. So, Paul Eric, you were saying at the end of that opening game that you really wanted to see the Danes perhaps take more initiative at the front of the court. Is that something that they've got to throw caution to the wind and perhaps take more chances? or is it a considered tactic?
Well, as far as I can see, the Chinese are very strong. The speed is a bit higher than the Danes. Therefore, we should have a chance winning this match. We have to take the initiative at the net and forcing ourselves to try to control that area. I know it's difficult because they will be pushed and pushed and pushed, but very important now. You see, one guy is running behind. The other one has to come forward, has to be in the position in order to cover the net. Where Lars PAASKE, you see he's running towards the net now, and he was in position. That is very important. In this situation, you saw Jonas Rasmussen was actually not forcing himself forward. Lars PAASKE has to try to cover the other area, and then the net was free. It was wide open, and the Chinese could easily make that point.
I do think with the Chinese pair, their favourite formation is definitely CAI Haifeng going forward and using the big left-handers smash from the back of the court. And I guess perhaps the Danes should try and get them out of that favoured formation.
Exactly. And one very important thing, if we should have a chance beating the Chinese, CAI Haifeng is the person that we have to get out of focus, because he's actually the strategic person of those two. And Fu Haifeng is trying to follow. He knows what he can and he do it well. And but the strategic person is CAI Haifeng. He's the one who's actually making the double pair here as strong as we sometimes see them, and therefore they have been world #1, and they have a good possibility to be world #1 again.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed in that rally how far back in court they were pushing the Danes. The Danes were on their defensive stance. Instead of standing their ground to the mid-court area, they were pushed back towards that double service line. And of course, that run of 5 straight points now brought to an end, and the Danes will be very relieved about that.
Here you saw a situation, Jonas Rasmussen trying to force himself towards the net, but look at his body is not keeping, he's not keeping the body in position. The body is falling down, and therefore the shot is not as accurate as it should be.
That's right, the torso falls forward, then of course there's a tendency to drag that shuttle downwards into the net. Body posture so important in this sport, balance of movement. Slow serve was a little loose there. Got what it deserved. Now it's gone long with the back line. He definitely doesn't look as comfortable at the front of the court, does he? And it takes too big a swing with that racket, and therefore it's very difficult to bring the shuttle down steeply.
He makes a lot of errors, so therefore, if we could move Fu Haifeng a bit further in front of the net, then maybe we have a chance that he will make some mistakes and he will be unconfident, and then when he rushes back, maybe he also will make mistakes on the back courts. Maybe there's a small chance for the Danes to enter the or change the figures, because right now I see the Chinese slowly getting the grip of this match.
Well, it's certainly not helping the Danish cause, the fact that they're making so many errors on serve. But that's a good interception from Lars PAASKE. And we haven't really seen him in his usual sort of dominant style, controlling play. A little subdued so far today. That's good play from Rasmussen. sudden reaction.
7-8.
I wonder how many errors on serve that is.
9-7. Service over, 8-9.
Fast. The anticipation, he was hunting for it, was looking for it.
9-all.
That's a good movement from Jonas Rasmussen. I was about to say, just before the rally before, when he was rushing backwards, he had a very good movement in his legs, made a good speed in the smash, and he felt a bit confident using that one, rushing towards the net and winning the other point. Maybe Jonas is in focus now.
He's certainly going through a good patch at the moment in his play. Yeah, a little nod of approval to himself. Really up for it now. And they've come from 5-9 down, 5 straight points to be 10-9 in front. And psychologically, always if you're up at the mid-game interval, it makes such a difference. There's the weakness on the defence of Fu Haifeng. Does tend to be very committed one side or the other, doesn't he? He's either waiting very much for his forehand defence, or as in this instance, look, he's very much committed to the backhand side and they're aiming towards his left shoulder and he just can't deal with it.
No, absolutely. It's very normal in a way to speak about his defensive. It's either the forehand or the backhand. If he has to change, he make the mistakes.
Goodness gracious.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds.
The Danes just about even.
What they were talking about is that they shouldn't be too defensive in the way of playing. Try to make their attacks, try to get in to make the game being in control, not letting the Chinese get the grip of the offensive. That is the idea, and that's what they're trying to do now.
10-11.
Easier said than done, I suspect. I mean, honestly, when you're playing against a pair as good as the Chinese combination. Look at that! What an angle on the smash. 267 kilometers an hour. That's about 166 miles an hour. Fantastic. A couple of times last year, especially in
12-11.
the Beijing Olympics, that Fu Haifeng, of course, was enormous pressure on all the Chinese players and all the Chinese athletes to perform in their own games, in their own home country. But I thought Fu Haifeng at times got so desperately nervous on court. Perhaps the Danes need to try and exploit that. When it gets close, play on him, because if he gets nervous, he's the one that will make the errors.
Most definitely. And I also think you will see it if it will be a very close match, this one. It will be Fu Haifeng. They will try to put out of focus. He's the guy who is struggling normally.
Yes.
Yeah, and when he's, I think sometimes a sign of his nerves is that he just reverts to sheer power play, blasting down the shuttle. Crikey, they're getting faster and faster, aren't they? 277. Well, he may have made the error there, Lars PAASKE, but that's the sort of looking for the shuttle and trying to control things from the front of the court that we've so expected to see him, but he hasn't really been able to do so far.
Unfortunately, so far, he has not really been having the luck, being in the position at the net, trying to control the game from the net area. Now this is service fault.
Yeah, service fault.
13-all.
Didn't look like a clear sign to me. Did he say racket not pointed in a downward direction, or was he trying to say above the waist? I think probably racket not in a downward direction. That means the scores are levelled once again. You know, that was such a good serve. Set up the rally, able to intercept, knew where the reply was going to come, and he was ready and waiting. There's your point about the serve, return, and third shot, absolutely vital in doubles. Yeah, you see, Paul Eric, you should have played a bit of doubles.
Yes, I would have loved to. But, I don't think I will find a double player who would like to play with me.
Great return of serve, using that mid-court area.
I think my defence was not good enough.
Well, I might have had a little mixed doubles with you if you'd asked me.
We could try to pick it up.
I can't beyond it, I'm afraid. Rapid-fire exchanges. And this is the sort of explosive play that makes men's doubles so exciting to watch.
14.
Well, there's me saying that Fu Haifeng wasn't as good at the front of the court. There, he was brilliant. Goodness gracious, I was going to say it's landed in, but the line judge has called it wide of that tram line. Crikey, that must have been close. Let's have a little look at this again. Oof, well, I think the line judge made a right decision there.
It was a very close call, and now it has levelled, and this particular time in the game is very important, and the mistakes coming into the game because of the tension, because of the pressure, who is able to keep up the focus.
So Dr. Kang, the president of the Badminton World Federation, talking to Mr. Yoneyama, founder and president of Yonex Company. And it's these crucial moments. We talk in sport about the ability not necessarily to play the big shots, but to play the big points, the important points, and it's crucial moments in this quarter-final, and whichever pair can really up their game right now are going to end up winning this quarter-final contest. Normally as safe as anything at the front of the court, Lars PAASKE, but he really hasn't been able to find that normal sort of form that we're so used to seeing. And that will be very, very disappointing for him. Three straight points to CAI and Fu. I wonder if that's decisive. unbelievable defence. Oh, would you believe it? And I keep saying that you can't win doubles from defending.
16-18.
Just to prove me wrong, the Danes' unbelievable defence in that rally. Scrambling the shuttle back, and that, I have to say, is so good to see because, you know, I've just made the comment, 3 straight points to the Chinese, is that going to be decisive? They pulled away at this stage of the game, and then the Danes to come up with a fighting spirit like that, that's a good sign.
That is a very good sign, and they showed that, well, we haven't given up yet. We are still in the game, and
16-18.
now the next 2 points in this game, of course it's crucial, but the focus now is on the Danes, and they are under pressure, under enormous pressure right now.
Yeah, good serve. Yeah, got it. Knew that he was in trouble as soon as he turned to play the high backhand. But as you pointed out earlier on, Paul Eric, CAI Haifeng is the one. Look, he suddenly dashed forward at exactly the right moment. And now the Chinese pair just 2 points away from a place in the semi-final. That's a pity from the Danish perspective. Going for really a cute angle.
16.
But the error means that the number 7 seeds, the former champions, have 4 match points. Impressive performance. Well, they may have been out of action as a pair since the Beijing Olympic final, but they are back, and back in tremendous form. The 2 months of training, the intensive training camp that all the top Chinese players have been subjected to, looks to have paid dividends.
16. Thank you.
Their current world ranking of number 8 in the world is totally unrealistic. They are much, much better than that. And they really have been fantastic in this quarterfinal. They've beaten the number 2 seeds, 21-17, 21-16.
The next match on court number 2 is a women's doubles.